get things started on our side here with Coach Amy Williams. The Huskers take on Wisconsin tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at Pinnacle Bank Arena. First home game for the Big Red in 15 days after spending 2 extended week-long road trips on the road. 4 games. Huskers went 3-1, including a 23-point win over number 20 Maryland on Sunday. Coach, if you'd like to make an opening statement and then take questions.
Yeah, who signed off on that schedule anyway? So we are very, very excited to be coming back to Pinnacle Bank Arena and being kind of in the friendly confines with our home crowd, and just excited to be back home sleeping in our own beds. It just was a fun Thanksgiving trip, but a lot of long travel and lots of nights in hotels. So we're excited to be back home.
Big win against Maryland. I mean, it's one that's like getting the monkey off your back. How does it feel, and what is the confidence now with the team going forward as you're approaching Big Ten?
Yeah, I think the best thing that our team has been able to do is just really learn from the losses. And it's not easy. I mean, it's not easy and it's not fun, but we've had some tough challenges against ranked opponents on the road. And a couple of those did not go the way we wanted them to, but to dig deep and find ways that we could improve, and then have that pay off and really commit to that for 40 minutes at Maryland and have that pay off was huge. I think that was just a big program win for us, Eric, as it just felt like that our group really wanted to get that monkey off the back, so to speak, and there are a lot of alumni that reached out to me after that game, just kind of excited about us being able to get a win like that, and a win over Maryland that we have not been able to do up to this point.
What did you learn in those losses?
I think the biggest thing is just that we need to be a little bit tougher, and we talked a lot about how toughness means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Jay Billis wrote a whole book about it, but for us, just really knowing that regardless of the circumstances or what happened on the last possession, your ability to focus on the now and what needs to happen right now to move forward to that next possession. And I thought we were able to do that. We had some chances or some times in that Maryland game where we got down 11 in the first half, and at that moment you could easily just focus on being down 11 and, oh no, what now? And instead it was what needs to happen on this next possession. We hit, Jazz Shelley hit 2 huge threes before halftime to cut it back to 5, and I thought that was critical for our belief to climb back in.
What does it say about the team that they bounced back from, again, a tough loss at Virginia Tech to, pulling off a big win just a few days later? I think it says they love each other. I think, they really leaned hard into each other after that tough loss at Virginia Tech, and could have easily gone the other way, and they just leaned into each other, embraced each other, and I just love how much this group loves each other.
How important was the timing of that win, ending the road trip strong, and now you spend the rest of the month at home?
Yeah, I mean, it's still not going to be easy. I think it's the timing of that is great, and what a big win for us, and we have goals to compete for a Big Ten championship, and so we're 1-0 towards that goal, and I think for us that was kind of a new beginning, but we know it's not going to get any easier just because we're at home, and we've got a very challenging conference opponent coming in here tomorrow, and it's just going to be a grind every single night out.
Amy, what have you learned about the league so far? I know it's conference play is starting, but what have you noticed out of conference teams in their non-conference play?
Yeah, top to bottom, Kevin, this is probably the best the league has been. When you watch, the first night that we opened, I watched a double overtime game, Penn State at Minnesota, and both teams were just making huge play after huge play, big bucket, big free throws, just, really clutch performances. You watch Illinois go and play Indiana to a 2, 3, 4 point game on the road at one of the top 10 programs in the country, and I just think it speaks to the parity that we're going to see, and just knowing that every night you have to be ready to play.
Talk about the toughness of the schedule early on, especially being on the road. Would you say that that is great preparation as you begin to move into a tough Big Ten, season?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it would have been very easy for us to schedule differently, but we felt like our program is at the place where we really want to challenge ourselves, and so we did. We have, and we've seen some ups and downs through that. But I know that my team is comfortable with, stumbling a little bit early, finding some things out, learning a lot about ourselves, and really crescendoing at the right time, and we feel like this is a good path to give us a chance to do that.
Not only a big win for y'all on Sunday, but a big win for the men as well. Just what was that moment like watching the end of that game with the girls on phones and all of that stuff? Yeah,
it was pretty incredible. We were originally not super excited about the fact that we had a refueling stop on the way back, but it did allow us to, we landed in Columbus just in time to be able to pull up about the last 4.5 minutes of the ball game and be able to watch it, and it was just an eruption of excitement from our team being able to see the guys have a huge win like that, and I heard a lot of people talking about this being one of the biggest, that being one of the biggest days in Nebraska basketball, just collectively with men and women in a long time, and so we're proud to be a part of that, and just incredibly excited for Coach Hoiberg and his group for the toughness they showed.
You said you guys congratulated each other and all that. I mean, how important is that in the athletic department, such a high pressure, Big Ten, big time level, that you guys have your coaches' backs through good times and bad?
Yeah, it's just hard to really put into words how much I've leaned on the other head coaches and coaches in this athletic department, and to hear from Coach Cook and Coach Ravel and Coach Hoiberg and just Coach Walker and just the support. I mean, I go back to kind of and Coach Ravel and I are very tight. I know that's been well documented, and we talk multiple times a week about just our programs and building culture. But go back to a conversation I had with Coach Walker after my first year here, and 7 wins that year, and some pretty tough off-season things that we were dealing with, and the encouragement that I got from Coach Walker has just carried me through lots of ups and downs and hard times, and I'm just so grateful to have Coach Hoiberg right down the hall, have that support, know that our athletes support each other, and to have outstanding brains in this department that I can tap into to continue to get better myself.
Amy, we know it's been a long time since you played at home. Only 3 home games, and you're in early December. What do you got to tell your fans in terms of embracing this team, because they haven't had many opportunities to watch you guys firsthand, and I know you have a big stretch coming up here, but do you have a message for the folks that are going to come and support your team on the backside of this month?
Yeah, we're so grateful for your support and excited to have you back out there. We just need to have that fuel to just kind of fill us back up after being kind of some road warriors for a little while. I think we're still a little bit kind of finding ourselves with just some injuries and trying to work some people back in. It'll be unique, hopefully being able to work Sam Hybe back into the equation here shortly, and then whenever volleyball is done winning their national championship, being able to have another piece, being able to work into our rotation with Maggie Mendelson. So just kind of unique, where you kind of are knowing that your rotation is going to shift a little just by adding a couple pieces. Sometimes injuries make it go the opposite way, where all of a sudden you're having to remove some pieces, but to be able to add some into the mix, I think that will help fuel us and give us some energy here heading into Big Ten play after the break and the remainder of this non-conference schedule.
I feel like you guys can finally catch your breath after all the traveling you've done.
A little bit, but we just got back, and then it's kind of like prep and boom, another conference game on Wednesday. It feels like it's just kind of, we're still rolling for sure.
How was Sam doing?
she's doing great. We've been really proud of her. We've been, just easing her in and pretty cautious this time around, but she's looking great, feeling great, and we'll be excited to, just proceed day to day with her.
On that kind of same general topic, Maddie Kroll made her first start on Sunday. How do you feel she did filling in for Trinity Brady?
Yeah, I thought Maddie just played fantastic, and when we went back and watched the film again, the number of things that she does that don't show up in the box score, it's just really hard to put a number on or to categorize. I mean, there's plenty of times Maryland's very difficult to defend in transition where she's covering up one kid and then making multiple effort to get out and take a secondary defender on the same exact possession in transition. Just multiple effort kid, takes charges, just physical, gonna buck up. If they're trying to post her up, she's not gonna allow it. She just a really tough, hard-nosed kid, and I thought she did just a fantastic job in 30-plus minutes for the first time this year, having to carry that type of load of just stepping up and making plays.
Jazz has really stepped up her scoring touch over that road trip. What are some of the differences you've seen from her versus maybe those first few games of the season where she wasn't necessarily lighting up the stat sheet?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I notice is that she's been more aggressive-minded offensively. She's hunted her shot a little bit better. She's pushed pace, and that's created opportunities for herself, but opportunities for everybody else on our team. And so we've been encouraging that, pace, and because of that, she's become a lot more difficult to defend off ball screen action. They don't have the time to figure out how they're going to navigate and get through quite as easily when she's playing that way and playing with pace. She's shot it a lot better. I think her follow through and just kind of commitment to that has been great. But I think it comes from just her having a mindset of hunting her shot a little bit more.
What does Wisconsin do well, upcoming opponent?
Yeah, Wisconsin is outstanding at executing their offense, and they run just really good stuff, and they're versatile, and they are deep, and they're adding an all-conference caliber player in Sid Hilliard back into the mix over the last couple of ball games. That gives them just another scoring option. But when you have an extremely experienced player like I'm just going to call her JP because I can't say her last name correctly. Pospisilova, I think. She's just incredibly talented, versatile, can hit 8 threes in a ball game, can go to the basket and score it, can post you up, can do a lot of different things. And she could play the point, she could play the 5 for them. So that poses some challenges to matchups, but they've got some outstanding freshmen in the mix. Sarah Williams, that is a really good post player that's coming on. She seems like every game I watch on film, she gets better. And Maddie Wilkie, who is a prolific three-point shooter. So I just think they have a lot of weapons and are putting it together and piecing it together, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in Big Ten play.
Anything else for Coach Williams?
Thanks, guys, for being here. Thanks.
Pospisilova.
Posh.
Ova and